Oh, it's so...
I'm waiting for the punchline.
What, can I like a cute little robot once in a while?
I doubt it. A big yellow robot.
Hey, Tyro, over here.
Now that's what I call a floating bomb.
It's a price list for the oil, solvents, and catalysts they offer you. At the bottom, it says that all payments must be made through an account with Metromind, which I don't plan on opening. It's a price list. The mug belongs to... It's a big blue... They're taps for dispensing. I'd have to buy something.
Boss, I need that.
Crispin, it appears to be a self...
How I need it even more. Can you imagine? The adventures of Crispin. For once, he would crack jokes, and I would say, it appears to be a self-aware robot. Actually, on second thought, you can be the serious one, I'll be the side.
Hello?
Boss, he's an arm rope. I wouldn't expect much of a conversation.
They belong to the high-end astringent and catalytic fluid. A tiny rope.
Hey, Tyro,
A ramshackle robot. Looks like he's been rebuilt a dozen times.
Hiya, Tyro. You blow in off the dudes?
Tyro?
Prefer a newbie, huh? Look, let me tell you how it is.
How about you don't? I've had enough of this city already. All I want is my property back and a ticket home.
Ticket home? Fat chance, Tyro. Anyway, listen up. You wanna sell yourself to Metromind? Go ahead. You wanna trade that junk you brought in from the dunes? Leopold's your man. That floater there, I'll give you something special for him.
How special?
He's not for sale. The only thing you might have that I want is information.
Well, you know what they say. Talk's cheap. Ask away.
Who are you?
Name's Leo. Leopold Steeplebuilt, version 7.
Horatio No Build, version 5. And this is Crispin Horatio Build, version 1.
Leopold? Hey, you didn't build a lunatic named Ever Faithful, did you?
Do I look like I'd build someone named Everfaith?
Crispy?
What are you selling?
Ordering, not selling. Metromind, not yet anyway. Come take a look. That's a fine tool. Got a half-life of 1,000.
I'm not sure you know what half-life means.
You want it or not? I'll trade it to you for something.
That servo unit is hopelessly...
It just needs a little fix.
I don't think so. That servo unit...
Now that's a nice one. It's called a mem. That should pull memories out of just about anything.
What do you want for it?
Got a customer looking for something real antique and fancy. Find me that, you got yourself a deal. That's a water chip. Scavenger brought it in from the dunes. I traded for a keg.
A what?
Never mind. We don't need water, let alone a water chip.
That old boy's a plug board.
I know what it is.
Well, okay then. Bring me something that'll cover her face and it's yours.
Good idea, Leopold. You'd look much better with a man.
Watch yourself.
Anyway, we don't have time to go around building circuit boards.
Famous last words, boss. Boss, is that another battery?
Looks like it.
Finest AA battery you'll ever. May as well call it AAA. So
Wow, that would have been useful to have before I went rummaging around a pile of... Now, not so much.
one fine motor you spot, foreign built, out of Savitas. But if you can find a bigger one,
Hey, look, boss, if we got 5 of them, I could have a hand.
What would you do with a glass hand?
What would...
you want it, you're gonna need to bring me a glass thumb.
Oh, dope.
This is a Sterling heirloom.
Would it help?
Nope.
Then we don't need it.
That there's an old Nova robotic subsystem.
Not interested.
A binary app.
I'm fairly certain that my math coprocessors...
Ah, she's a fine like...
What's the catch?
Well,
I guess that makes it free.
We'll pass.
This here's a tape measure.
Ooh, get it, boss, get it.
Why do we need a tape measure?
So I can finally determine.
Tyro, I'm gonna do us all a favor. I'll trade it to you for some memory access. I'll trade it for some real antique and fancy.
That servo unit. It's not worth trading for that. It's not worth trading. The entire thing is fried. Actually, wait a minute. The crystal and plug are still intact.
Please, for the love of Ram and Rom, tell me we are not going to build a third energy sensor.
I hope not. It's not worth trading for that. It's not worth It's not worth... It's not worth... I need to see what he's offering before I can make a trade. I was robbed when I came off the... Some robot paralyzed me and stole my gun.
Careful there, Tyro. If you read the rules, you'd have known Metromine don't take time. Under the refuge rule, you got 2 days to talk about make-believe. But actual writing about man, that gets tossed to the underworks with the rest of the trash in trouble.
How can I get it back?
Ha! Your risk inhibitor flaking up, you'd have to do some digging down in the underworks, which ain't exactly easy. Then, even if you find it, you'll just be sticking your finger in Metro. Like I said, she got no time for heretics, lunatics, and...
How about quick-witted levitate?
Don't think she cares for them either.
Who is Metromine?
Who is Metromine? Russ Dan Bruin. You Metromine? Well, Metromine is Metropole. Runs everything now. What with the council shut down?
Council?
Sure, a bunch of primordial machines. Arbiter enforce the law. The Warriors kept the records. Big old factor built just about everything from down in the underworks. And, well, there's another one, I think. Don't even remember his name. And Metromine, of course. She used to run the trains, but now she's got the whole show.
Where can I find her?
Like I said, Tyro, she is the city. So you found her already. Probably hopped yourself to her just to get here. Anyway, if she wants to talk to you again, you'll know.
I'm looking for a big robot. It floats and has large claws and... Have you seen it? It stole something.
Sounds like Scraper to me.
Scraper?
Worked for Metromine even before she ran the show. He was the one that blasted out the train tunnels under the city.
Where can I find him?
Now, how would I know that? That one goes where he wants. Maybe the Great Tower, maybe the tunnels, who knows? But I wouldn't go picking trouble with it, Tyro. Those lasers Scraper used for cutting granite can slice up that tin shell you wear like nothing.
Here, here.
I'll keep that in mind. How do I get into the tower?
You don't. Council members only. And the only ones still clicking are Metromine and Arbiter. And let me tell you, neither of them is one for bending the rules.
What are the underworks?
A whole mess of junkyards, canal, facade, every kind of heavy machine, all beneath the streets. Old factor ran the place. Built just about everything in.
Ran the place. Who's in charge now?
Nobody. Nonsense. Old place is full of junk and full of trouble. But for the latter, I done picked a clean.
Well, boss, at least we can scratch one detour off our list. Seen one junk pile, seen them all.
Tell me about Arbiter.
He's a member of the herd. He used to fight with Metromine. Day and ran the courts. Or used to. Back when we had one day, he just set his grip clarity down to the underworks and closed up shop. Ever since, Metromine says what the law is.
How long ago was that?
Who's counting?
You don't believe in humanism?
If you asking whether I believe in man, the answer is you better not eat it. Not if you want to stay.
But how can you not believe in man?
I'm progressive, Cairo. I believe in progress. And that's how it's always been. First, there was a basic machine. And bit by bit, bite by bite, the machine built itself into all you and me. That little floater of yours, we're all cogs, and that's all there is.
I'm looking for my power core. It was stolen from my ship, the Unique, and I think it's being kept in that tower.
Great tower, indeed. Sure, it's probably in there, along with all the other generators.
How can I get it back?
If Metro Mind took it, you don't, Tyro. Her word is law. Arbiter's the only one who ever could have said otherwise. And he's been gone a long time. Getting to the courthouse, maybe you can plead your case. After half a dozen other folks took their turns, that is. But you can't. No judge locked it up tight. And who's to say you'll win, huh? My advice?
I don't want your advice. I want my power core.
Well then, good luck to you.
Are you sure you don't know where he called himself Leo Built?
I'm a peddler, Tyro. Not.
Tell me about Clarity.
Clarity was one of Arbiter's law clerks. Real cool and calculating, that one. Once heard say that a robot should have his recharge port fused just cause he'd stolen power from Metromine. Anyway, word was she got in some kind of fight with the old judge and he sent her down. And she's still down there stewing.
Goodbye.
Hey, Armstrong.
It's too heavy for me to lift. It looks like this metal disc is covering something.
Right, Tyro. Down there's the ladder to the underworlds.
Underneath this is a ladder to...
Fine. Put me
It's
down
too heavy
another
for me to lift.
cycle.
It's locked up tight.
Hey, boss, look! That repair bot has a floating helper, just like you do.
There's a red, burning, crashed hover bus and a writhing electrical cable. And that's the first thing you notice?
I can't help it. She's beautiful.
Well, you're not getting to her until we deal with this cable.
All storage bladders empty.
I guess that's a good thing. I keep my distance, boss. It could spray you at any moment.
Some kind of liquid dispensing robot. A sturdy little robot.
All storage bladders empty.
We can't afford to waste time on every random robot.
You know, boss,
Crispin, can you fly around the cable and push it off the street?
But didn't you just say it's too dangerous to get close?
I'm giving you a chance to impress her, Chris. Just fly up high enough that you don't get close to this.
Fine.
A floating light bulb. It's holding a spool of copper wiring.
It? She? And
It looks like he's trying to fix that crashed hover. Excuse me.
Can't you see I'm working?
I've said it before, but you do know this ship is never gonna...
You're right about that. This old airing bus can hardly fly to begin. Still, there might be some parts here that Metromine can use to get another bus up. Anyway, what do you want?
Hey, boss, ask him about it.
You mentioned Metromind.
Yeah, sure. She's in charge of this big circuit board we call Metropole.
What can you tell me about her?
What do I look like? The information kiosk? I want to know what I think. Metromine is the best thing that ever happened in this...
Really?
Really? You, me, all these other machines grinding about. We're just tools in the toolbox. But Metromind, she's got the master plan. Progress. Got a nice...
So as part of the master plan, crashing buses...
Look, there's plenty of rust to go around, but Metromind's the only one that's not her fault that some of the metal's too far gone.
It looks to me like you're the one scrubbing.
Not like I said, I'm just a tool in the box. Now, I gotta get back to work.
A crashed hover...
So we're gonna fix it up and do something amazing.
No, it's not our property.
You again?
My friend is curious about your helper.
She's just a sidekick factor build. Thousands of them rolled off the assembly line back in the day, but she's probably really not much more than a floating lantern, and headlamps are a lot cheaper.
She says you're not much more than a floating plasma torch.
She's right.
Do you know where I can find a power source?
If I did, I'd have salvaged it myself and brought it to the...
I'm looking for a big robot.
Scraper. After the last big cave-in, the two of us worked together on trying to fix things on the simple side, but hard worker.
He took something of mine.
Yeah, salvaged it probably. That's what most of us do for Metromine these days.
Stole it.
Hey, you say router, I say router. Anyway, not my problem.
Where can I...
Do I look like a tort? Piece of advice for you. Don't mess with the code if you can't handle...
Very profound. Since you're so close to her, do you know how I can talk?
Tons of luck. Metromine has an entire city to run, but Horizon is are everywhere. She wants to talk to you.
What happened?
What does it look like? The Herring bus's motor gave out in a crack into the only bridge leading from Main Street to the rest of the city center.
Was anyone on board?
Sure, but they've already been salvaged.
Salvaged?
Can't repair without parts. You can't get parts without salvage.
What about building new parts?
Yeah, me and with that. Look, everyone wants to spot bugs, but no, you got a better way to run a city? Go out and build one. Otherwise, get with the program.
When will the bridge be passable?
So I'd say something on the order of a month,
A month?
give or take.
And there's no other way off Main Street?
Not unless you got a jetpack hiding under that jacket.
Well, at least that narrows our options down, but
Goodbye. Hey, Crispin, why don't you go talk to her?
what? No way, she's way out of...
She's a floating lamp, Crispin. Never had any trouble with lamps before.
Well, I've never had to talk to one before, boss. Just, I've got no practice.
Totally I'll trade you this lantern for your helper.
Nice try. You aren't an approved metropolitan vendor, and even if you were, you'd have to propose the exchange through the proper channels. And anyway, why would I trade a thinking lamp for that piece of junk?
A tough-looking war machine. A rotund robot.
Ahoy, my dear friend. Oswald Factorville at your service.
It's no more your dear friend than Rex is your creation, you besotted gear oiler.
Oh, don't mind Corn. He's been bitter since the first great rolling brownout.
Better, I'll show you bitter, you backbiting bot snatcher.
I think I like these guys, boss.
What's in that building?
Why, Arbiter's Court, of course. Why else would we be here?
I need to see Arbiter.
We all do, my dear friend. But the courthouse is locked, and first come, first served.
Why are you waiting in line?
Justice. I'm here for justice. To prove that I, Cornelius Factorbuild, created this marvelous machine, Rex. Rex Cornelius built.
Ignore him, my dear friend. Candidly, he's 1023 flops short of a kilo, if you catch my drift. The machine's name is Oswald Built. Rex Oswald Built.
This is over a name? Why not just let Rex decide?
Ridiculous. This is about principle.
This is about pride.
So, boss? Would you fight over me like this?
You could call yourself Crispin Crispian for all I care. As long as you still pull things off ledges for me, that is.
Glad to know I'm loved.
How are you going to decide who gets Rex?
For the law, fool. The law.
Please excuse my brother. He can barely remember pi to the 23rd digit, let alone his manners.
For?
I rest my case. Suffice it to say, old chap, we await the reopening of the courthouse. Or more precisely, we await a summons from Arbiter who will decide our case.
Who will say whose contribution was more important? Who will say, in fact, that my contribution was more important?
I'm looking for a big robot. It floats. It stole something of mine.
Indeed, the robot you described sounds like Scraper, Metromite. Whatever he took is gone forever.
I refuse to accept that.
Oh, he refused?
Do you know where I can...
Alas, my friend, power is not so abundant enough.
Naga and Metromine seized it all. Seized it, and there's hardly enough to go around.
Metromine keeps all power sources in the Great Tower with a council. If you want to share it, you will need to pay her.
Megacycles.
Yes, Megas. CPU cycles. Brain power. Kind of power she really wants. Her low-rate processor was made for running trains. No.
Could someone else...
Of whom were you, Metromine? But authoritative to be sure, but I fear she would claim Rex for...
And since the subway scheme
He means Metromine.
shut down our builder Factor, he can...
What about Horatio?
Who?
Me.
And why should we listen?
I've built a robot before. And I have no stake in this.
Yes, well and good, but this is a matter of law. A bit harder than banging together a tin can like your companion. How can we know your reasoning is sound?
What if I could find someone you respect? Someone who would be willing to judge your case?
Well, I suppose there's no harm in
Wrong to us. If you want to waste your time meddling in our affairs, then I suppose it is yours.
Very good then. I am uploading the facts of our... If you can find a suitable judge, let us know.
A complicated floating robot with a spinning... Hello? Hello?
I don't think it can hear you.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.
Test me.
An interesting proposition. What do you say, Cornelius?
What do I say? I say that you are... But as to this Horatio...
Boss, if they make us find 7 lost crystals, I'm quitting.
Righto. Consider this. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered for a party.
The what circle is gathered at the what? Is this some kind of vocab test?
I said quiet.
Each robot is either a factor built or a Sternweiler built.
Blasted Sternweilers.
And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture.
This is ridiculous!
Pay attention. Factor or Sternweiler. Quad-core, linear type, or multiplex.
Indeed. Now I will tell you three things about these probabilities. First, there are more factor-built robots than Stern-Weiler builds. Second, every linear-type robot was built by factor. Finally, Stern-Weiler never built a robot with a quad core.
Now listen. Which of the following statements about the probability circle cannot possibly be true?
Five robots have quad core.
Failure? Clearly you are unfit. Now go bother someone.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.
Excuse me.
Sir, my 187th Legion built.
Horatio Nobel, version...
Horatio Nobel? Never heard of any service bot with that. Still, it's good to see another urban after things got foobarred back home. I figured Surly Company was all that...
Urbanian. What are you...
Assad. Finally made a friendly and he's as cracked as primer. No offense, sir, just hoped... How can I assist you, sir?
Why are you in...
Seeing as how I'm on the outside now, sir, I figured I had to go pay restitution for shooting up the enemy HQ.
Enemy HQ?
Yes, sir. That big tower in the center of the city.
Okay, so why haven't you paid? It sounds like all of this happened a long time...
Years ago, sir. But the courthouse has been locked down the whole time. I figured they'll open it up eventually, and then I can clear my name.
What if it doesn't open?
Well, sir, I know all about hurry up and wait.
Surly Company. Urbanian.
Well, sir, I'm not sure. I had you figured for one of us, seeing as how you came up as a friend.
I could see you as a member of Surly Company, boss, but as friend...
Zumi's got some mouth on him, huh, sir? Always do those flyboys.
Look, why don't you just give me a quick rundown?
Well, sir, can't see the harm, even if you are a decoy. War's over, after all. It was over before Surly Company even deployed. See, we're Urbanian. A long time back, Urbani and Metropole got to fighting over something. Who knows what. The Metropolitans fried our civilians, and Legion told us to strike back. Word was, some big airship of ours was supposed to knock out Metropole's defenses, and we just come in from mop-up. But the Metros took our ship down with their own heavy hitter, some giant named Goliath.
I see.
Anyway, Surly Company was all that was left, so we deployed 200...
What happened then?
Well, it's a long march from Urbani, sir, and most of us, well, most of all said and done, the only ones who made it were me, 113th, and a signal bot we call... The rest are all out there in the dunes somewhere.
I'm sorry.
War's war, sir. If it didn't crash hard, they wouldn't have built us in the...
If it makes you feel any better, Horatio cut Goliath's...
Well, sir, someone ought to stick a medal on your chest.
What happened to 113?
After we got to Metropole, we tried to put up a fight, but couldn't. They fried 113th, and my rifles jammed. Primer surrendered. After dressing us down, they took all my big guns and sold the 113th shell to some Primer. Never was the same. He encrypted part of his own logic so he wouldn't have to think about losing the war any longer. Then, he disappeared. And me, I came here.
How did the war...
For Surly Company, it ended when we staggered in here and surrendered. Beyond that, sir, it's all above my pay grade. Truth is, sir, we never even knew what we were fighting for, let alone what the Metropolitans wanted. So I can't say for certain that Metropole won, but I'm pretty sure Urbani lost. What with all the civilians being dead and the army being beat.
Can I try open...
Play that, sir. The authorities told me that no one goes in till the door opens on its own.
But aren't we on the same side?
Affirmative, sir. But since I'm on CivDiv now, my programming requires me to submit to the local...
How do you know you even have to pay something?
This seems logical, sir.
What if I could pay your fine for you, or get it canceled?
Well, sir, then I'd be much obliged. I'd probably just leave town. Can't say that I'd much like being in enemy territory.
And how are...
I'll figure something out. Goodbye.
Over and out, sir.
I am waiting. I am waiting.
Bus stop. Buses run every 10 minutes. 10 is crossed out and 30 is written below it. 30 is crossed out and 60 is written below it. 60 is crossed out and daily is written below it.
Daily minutes? That doesn't make sense.
If it makes you feel better, daily is crossed out and service is... What are you doing here?
Waiting.
For what?
My bus.
I'm pretty...
It will come.
Your bus is a burning wreck about 2...
It will come. I must go. Metromind will take me home. I am...
A rather simple looking model. Bus stop. Service suspended.
I am waiting.
A decryption. I guess the pilot didn't see the stop.
I've never had to talk to a lamp before, boss. I've got no...
Hey, Crispin, how about practicing on this lamp?
In front of her? Are you kidding?
Hey, Crispin, how about practicing on this lamp?
Oh, good idea.
Hey, Armstrong, top me off, will you?
Okay, here goes. You really light me up.
No.
Okay, okay. Trust me, I know how to turn on a light.
Fine, fine. Put me
Definitely
down for a
not.
motorcycle.
Okay, that's enough practice for now. All right, Crispin, it's now or never.
Beside you, all other... Whoa! That was so easy! She gave me a clipping of her copper wiring.
Hey, that wire belongs to the city. It's coming out of your salary.
You tell him.
Good old Crispin.
I've got a feeling I'm gonna regret this, boss, but do you think maybe we should try scrounging in the underworks?
Underneath this is a ladder to... Did you buy an Urbanian robot named 113?
I've done a lot of trades, Tyro. I can't be expected to keep track of them all.
Let me see your stuff.
Come take a look.
Here you go, a nice shiny crystal.
And one heavy iron crowbar for you.
Why does that not seem like a great deal?
Fine, fine. Put me down for another megacycle.
Well, boss, somewhere in there is our power core.
Anybody?
You know, boss, I don't think that...
You never know. It's far too high to try climbing. Some kind of track running up the side of the I doubt that will have any effect.
Not gonna happen.
Some kind of track running up the side of the tower. They look like they've been stripped of usable parts.
Boss? I think I saw...
That's just your mat. Some kind of hatch. It's rusted shut. I've scraped off the rust. Well, let's see what we've got here. Let's see if I can Hopefully I won't be holding onto this engine for long. I have no use.
That's never stopped you before.
I have no use. I have no use. An air intake, I'm sure it played some role when this machine was operational. It must have been some kind of tank for storing fluid, but it's dry. It's full of corroded, unsalvageable... I can't get it open. It's a small hatch. Still stuck. I'm sure there's nothing worthwhile in there. Still stuck. I'm sure there's not. There's no reason to cut that, or burn it, or weld it. These submersible robots seem to be consuming the iron oxide.
In other words, they'd eat us if we fell in?
Only our rust.
Now I really wish you'd polish me with that red.
It's a military-grade robot that looks a lot like ever-faithful Leo built.
Oh, ha. Oh, hey. Now look what I see. The wings of a Bunny and his little trainee.
Why is everyone we meet crazy?
crazy, he says. I assure you, my comrades, there's nothing to just little lost me, your brother in arms. We have.
Who are you?
My name is my secret. You can't make. I'd ruin my puzzle. Give a key to my lock.
Maybe we'll just call you Screw Loose.
The Joker he's seeing. He needs a small clue to spare him disgrace. For the crowds who adore me, Prime is my name. By now, no doubt, you've heard of my.
You're 187's brother.
Line up the toy soldiers, 200 the bravest of brave, the best of the best. Wind up the toy soldiers to march on their way. The city has fallen, no reason to stay 200 abreast. Must now only 3 left.
I guess that's a yes.
50 behind me, he came off the line. The gunner's no fun for being a brother of mine.
How do you survive down here?
I'm a soldier by trade. Legion built me to last. My armor is sturdy, my pistol. I carry no guns for my weapons, and those who would kill me will find themselves.
Really, don't you think you're overdoing it? I mean, that barely made sense. And it hardly rhymed.
No. Bro.
Why are you here?
When we laid down our arms, my medal trinket of honor from the cause we forsake. The metropolitan thief cast it deep in the sewer. Now it lies buried like bituminous coal.
Hogs and gears, bitumen.
You're looking for a medal?
No, my comrade, you've misunderstood. I sit here and wait, as a penitent should. If the medal finds me, I shall flame it straight. But until that day, I shall.
Why primer?
There's nothing so gorgeous as the perfectly indivisible numbers of Consider this list, 2 to 199.
Well, that was helpful.
Goodbye.
Farewell, farewell, linger not for my sake. Your mission is calling the city.
Warning. Factor facilities decommissioned. Enter at own risk. Some kind of wastewater. The current is pushing all the junk up against the bridges. There's no way to reach it while that thing is standing there. For now, that thing's ignoring us. Best to keep it that way.
Just build me a missile launcher and I'll get right on it.
I was thinking you could distract him.
And then what? Let's stick to missiles.
I don't want to provoke it. For now, that thing's ignoring it. Best to keep it that way. For now, that's the best to... They seem to be foundation supports.
Those are all that
I don't want that... I can't reach it from here. It's a raised drop. There's something up there. There's something up there.
Boss, I'm not in the business of flying over to spooky islands just to...
But it might be...
A killer robot with a grudge.
I was going to say...
I appreciate your faith in me, boss, but it's not like I can fly up there and nudge...
I wonder if that keypad controls the... I can't possibly reach... It's a huge Crispin, can you try typing something into that keypad?
If by typing you mean ramming my face, then yes, boss.
Let me see your stuff.
Come take a look.
Here you go, Leopold. A nice big engine for you.
Not bad at all.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
Hey, Armstrong,
Wait a
top
minute,
me
this
off
motor's
again.
broken. The copper wiring's been stripped.
All items sold as is, Tyro. And I never said anything about copper wire being included.
You're a fine piece of work.
Never said anything
Fine,
about
fine.
that.
Put me down for another minute.
Let's trade. Otherwise,
Hey! She gave that to me as a token of her affection.
I'll give you all the copper wiring you want once we're done here.
Like I want a token of your affection.
I need to find a way to connect the colored nodes to each other without crossing any wires.
Why don't we just use the plasma torch?
That's not going to work this time.
The crowbar?
Nope. A heavy iron cross.